Welcome back to the Warriors Way podcast. My name's Tim, and this is going to be a short one today. It's just me coming to you, no guest, just something that's been on my heart of the topic of comfort. And I released a reel earlier last week that kind of touched on this topic, and I wanted to just go a little bit more in depth on the topic and why I feel like it's so important to everyone, but specifically men, as we're talking to men here on this podcast about what the dangers are with comfort. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Most men aren't failing because they're weak. They're failing because they're comfortable. Comfort is way more dangerous than failure. You see, failure wakes you up, while comfort puts you to sleep. And right now, too many men are asleep in their own lives. You're not tired. You're not overwhelmed. You're not just in a busy season of life. You've just gotten comfortable. And the comfort is slowly killing the men that we are supposed to become. So let me paint this picture for you of what this looks like. It's not dramatic. It's subtle. So it's the alarm going off in the morning and you hitting snooze. We've all done it. Not because we need sleep and we're too tired, but it's because getting up is uncomfortable. It just is. It's skipping that workout, not because we don't have time, but because it's easier to take it easy, to sit on the couch, to just be comfortable. So it's knowing, you should pray. You should lead your family. You should have that difficult conversation and pushing it off because it's uncomfortable. Not today, maybe tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes the next day and you do the same thing over and over again. How many of us have been there? Like caught in that cycle of just going day by day by day, by week by week by week. And before we know it, nothing has changed. We're the same person or we've digressed. You see it in fitness all the time. And you skip that first workout, it makes the next workout even harder. And it becomes easier and easier just to say, I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow. I'll start Monday. Before you know it, years have gone by and you've slowly faded from the person that you were and the person that you were trying to become to this comfortable version of yourself. And that's usually where a lot of us get to a breaking point and a turning point is when we get too comfortable. So the scary part is it doesn't fall apart right away. So you still get up, you go to work, you still provide, you be the person you're supposed to be, you're a good guy. But slowly you start to lower your standard and you start negotiating with yourself. And before you know it, without even realizing it, you've built a life that requires really nothing from you. And that's the scary part. So, like I said, we see it in fitness all the time. I've personally been on some sort of fitness weight loss journey for as long as I can remember. And I've had times where I've been really disappointed and I've gotten in really good shape. And I've had times where I'm not disappointed, I'm not in good shape. I was leading a challenge a couple of years ago on Facebook. And, back up, prior to that, I was in a challenge on Facebook. And I really went all in. I dedicated myself. And I got some really good results. I lost a lot of weight. I got in really good shape. It was probably some of the best shape I've been in my adult life. And about a year later, I was starting to run these challenges and I had somebody reach out to me and they're like, I know you've been in really good shape. So if what you're saying works, what happened? And I've never been so offended and so kind of punched in the gut at the same time. Like I was offended because it was true. And my answer was, well, I stopped doing what got me in shape. And for those of us who have gone through a weight loss journey like that, or a fitness journey, or you've prepped for a race, or you've done something really big like that in fitness, what's the easiest thing to do once you've reached that goal? It's to take a week off, to take a day off, to take a month off. And that is the most dangerous part, because going again is so incredibly hard. And what's dangerous about it is that day off, you don't lose fitness. That week off, you really don't lose fitness. But that week turns into 2 weeks and 3 weeks and a month and 2 months. And before you know it, that slow fade away from where you were and what you worked so hard to get to is gone. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens through a series of choices that you've made to be comfortable, to take it easy. So I'm not telling this to say that I have it all figured out. I'm telling this to say this is what I've struggled with. And if I've struggled with it, maybe you have too, and maybe this can help you. So every time you choose comfort, you reinforce that habit of stepping away from the goals you were trying to achieve. And that's fitness, faith, your family, relationships at work, all those things. Every time you choose to avoid discomfort, you take a step in the opposite direction. Now, the opposite is true as well. Every time you choose comfort, you remind yourself of who you are and who you're trying to become, and you reinforce those good habits. So the truth is, most men don't want to hear it, but comfort is not just staying neutral, and it's not just harmless. Comfort is a slow drift away from discipline. It's a slow drift away from purpose and from leadership, who God called us to be. So you don't just wake up one day and become a weak man. You become him through those thousands of small decisions to take the easy path. And comfort kills. It kills discipline. It kills confidence. It kills your leadership, and it kills your respect that you get from others. And most importantly, it destroys your relationship with God. None of those things grow in comfort. They grow in pressure. Like you've heard the analogy of the way a diamond is made. It's made under pressure. It's made under constant pressure. And without that constant pressure and the beating, you don't have this beautiful thing. So it grows in those early mornings where you don't want to get up, but you get up anyway. When it's hard and you do it anyway. When you don't feel like it and you move anyway. That's what Warriors Way is all about. That's what we are doing on Saturday mornings. We don't just get together at 7:15 on Saturday mornings because we love working out. We don't just do it when it's cold and when it's miserable just because how much we love to exercise. We do it because we're enforcing some habits that hopefully will come home and translate into the rest of our lives. When we get home and it's not easy to jump in and help around the house, we do it anyway. And those difficult conversations that we have that come up for all of us, we don't avoid it, we do it anyway. And that's really the whole goal around the Warriors Way program and around this podcast. So, if we're all being honest, as we talk about comfort and as this conversation comes up, we know exactly where in our lives we're being comfortable. And we know exactly where it's crept into our lives and it's created something that we don't like and that we want to change. So you don't need a new plan. What you need to do is stop negotiating with the plan that you already have. So here's my challenge. We'll keep this short and sweet today. My challenge for you is for the next 24 hours, one day, I want you to declare war on comfort. That's it, one day. So I want you to choose one or a few of these things, or maybe all of them. When your alarm goes off tomorrow, I want you to get up immediately. Don't hit snooze, just get out of bed. That's a huge one for me. That is a huge spot in my life that I struggle with. If you look at my phone right now and my alarms app, every morning I probably set 5 or 6 alarms because I don't trust the snooze, and I'm not going to wake up on the first alarm. I'm waking up crazy early right now, or I'm supposed to be waking up crazy early right now to get my training in. And that's the only time I have to do it. I have to get it done in the morning or else I can't get it in. There's a few times occasionally I can get away at lunch and get a couple miles in, but the miles that I need to be logging right now, I can't afford to do at lunch. I can get maybe 3 miles in at lunch. So the miles that I need to be doing right now, I have to get done at another point in time. So it's either the morning when nobody else is awake, at lunch where I can get about 3 miles in, or in the evening. This evening I got home just after 6 o'clock. So fired up the grill, helped make dinner, helped get the kids fed, helped get them in bed. Here I am. So I got about realistically an hour, maybe an hour and a half till I'm going to bed tonight. That's not the time that I want to be working out. That's going to be one of the hardest times in the day to work out. The best time I can do is first thing in the morning. So when your alarm goes off, get up immediately. Second thing, do the work that you've been avoiding. So if there's a project, or there's a project at work, or a job you need to be doing around the house, a conversation that you need to be having that you've been putting off, do it. Make a decision in the next 24 hours to take a step towards that goal. Third thing, and most importantly, spend time in prayer. Spend time in prayer and talking with God. The way I grew up, it was nobody's expectation on me, but it's just the way I felt, was that if I'm not spending, 30, 40 minutes, an hour with God every day, praying and reading my Bible, then I'm probably not growing. That's not it at all. Give some time to God. If right now you're not giving any, start with 10 minutes. If you don't know how to pray, start by just closing your eyes and being quiet and asking God to come into your mind and fill that time. If you don't know where to start reading the Bible, YouVersion Bible app is amazing. You can download it. It's got every version of the Bible on there. You can go to plans and you can get a Bible reading plan for just about any topic you can possibly think of. It's never been more easy to spend time in the Bible. So those are the three things. When the alarm goes off tomorrow, get up. Do the work, have the hard conversation that you've been avoiding, and spend time in prayer with God. No negotiating, no excuses for 24 hours. You can do anything for one day, because it's not just about that one day. It's about proving to yourself that comfort is a choice, and so is discipline. So the man you're trying to become, he chooses growth. He chooses the option that pulls him away from comfort, because that's where the growth happens. So let's get to work. If you enjoyed this podcast, if it spoke to you, if it was impactful to you in any way, please share it with one other person. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk soon.